Hello, friends. We are going to read Titanic Treasure for our first guided reading lesson. So if you have not done so already, please open up Reading A to C and find the assignment Titanic Treasure. And at any point in this video, you can pause. But please pause now so that you have time to get settled in with that book and pull it up. So let's look at the front cover of the book. The photograph shows the underwater remains of the Titanic. What do you already know about the Titanic? Please go to the front and back covers of the book. This is Titanic Treasure, written by Jane Selman. What do you see on the covers? What type of book do you think this is? What might it be about? Let's look at page 3 at the table of contents. The table of contents provides an overview of what the book is about. What do you expect to read about in the book based on what you see in the table of contents? Good readers often visualize or create pictures in their mind while reading. Visualizing is based on the words used in the text and what a person already knows about a topic. So I'm going to read page 4 aloud to you. This is the introduction. The sea was calm as a huge new ship bound for New York City crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Suddenly, just before midnight, the crew and passengers felt a jarring thud as the ship struck an iceberg. Less than 3 hours later, the ship broke in two, disappeared underwater, and sank to the bottom of the ocean. The Titanic was gone forever. Or was it? Whenever I read a book, I always pause after a few pages to create a picture in my mind of the information I've read. This helps me organize the important information and understand the ideas in the book. For example, on page 4, the author describes how the Titanic broke in two and then sank to the bottom of the ocean. I had a very emotional reaction to what I pictured in my mind. I pictured people frantically running on the deck of the ship trying to get to lifeboats. I pictured debris falling all over the ship and into the ocean as the ship broke into two pieces. I pictured survivors with sad and desperate faces as they watched in horror as the ship sank underwater. The people must have been terrified. So I'm going to reread page 4 to you, and I want you to use the words to visualize. And I want you to get a scrap of paper and doodle what you're visualizing. The sea was calm as a huge new ship bound for New York City crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Suddenly, just before midnight, the crew and passengers felt a jarring thud as the ship struck an iceberg. Less than 3 hours later, the ship broke in two, disappeared underwater, and sank to the bottom of the ocean. The Titanic was gone forever. Or was it? So as you read, I want you to use this reading strategy as well as any other reading strategies to understand. So we are going to be using a lot of cause and effect in this story. A cause is an event that makes something happen, and the effect is what happens because of that event. So, for example, it is very sunny and hot outside. If it is very sunny and hot outside, I know that I would wear clothing of a lighter weight and coloring to help stay cool. The hot and sunny weather would also cause me to drink a lot of water to stay hydrated. Wearing different types of clothing and drinking lots of water are two effects that happen because of the hot, sunny weather. So the hot, sunny weather is the cause, and the effect is how I dress and how I drink. What other cause and effect relationships are there? What are other effects of hot and sunny weather? Well, you might stay indoors, wear a hat, wear sunscreen. Now let's look at the glossary for our vocabulary words. The glossary is at the back of the book. We have artifacts, bow, debris field, hull, maiden voyage, remote, salvagers, scuba dive, snorkel, sonar, stern, submersible, tidal pools, and tragedy. What do you know about each word's meaning? You can review the definitions. And in addition to reading the definitions, you can understand the context by going to the pages. Because as you see, let's use bow as an example. Bow, the front of a ship. Bow is the vocabulary word. The front of the ship is the definition. And beside that, it says P5. That means it is on page 5. So if you flip to page 5, in bold print, it's at the bottom of the page, it says, and the length from bow to stern equaled 3 football fields. So this helps with the context. I know the bow is a part of the boat. So I want you to read to find out about the Titanic. And I want you to pause after each section to mentally visualize what you've read. Go ahead and read up until page 8. And I'd like you to doodle what you visualize during one or more of the events in the story. So on page 7, I read how the Titanic scraped an iceberg, causing water to pour in. I pictured a gigantic hole in the side of the ship and thousands of gallons of water gushing in. I pictured the decks of the ship beginning to flood and people wading through the water to try to escape. So let's think of causes and effects here. The Titanic struck an iceberg, so that's a cause. So what was the effect? Well, seawater poured into the ship and the ship sank. Go ahead and read to the end of page 15. Visualize the information as you read, and you can doodle. Now that we've reached this point, let's think about Robert Ballard. Robert Ballard was curious about the ocean. That is a cause. Use the text to identify the effect of this cause. The cause was Robert Ballard was curious about of the ocean. So the effect was he studied to become an underwater explorer. What are other cause and effect relationships that happen as a result of advancements in technology in remote ocean exploration? Well, the cause, advancements in technology allowed for more remote ocean operations. The effect, Robert Ballard and his team were able to find the Titanic. Go ahead and read the remainder of the book and continue to visualize and doodle. Now that you're done, what words are you still curious about? Feel free to share. When I read on page 14 about what the explorers found, everyday items like shoes and a doll, it really made me picture the people who were on that ship. I pictured a child holding the doll. I pictured someone putting on a pair of shoes. Picturing these images made the sinking of the Titanic seem more real to me. How did the strategy of visualizing help you understand the story? Take a moment to reread page 13. Cause. Robert and his team had Alvin, a submersible. What was the effect? The team could view the decks of the Titanic, record video of the wreckage, and learn more about what happened to the Titanic. In this book, you learned about the tragedy of the Titanic and how lives could have been saved if the ship had been equipped with lifeboats. Now that you know this information, what is the benefit of studying and learning about tragic events in history? All right, friends, that concludes our very first guided reading lesson. Tomorrow, which is Thursday, I would like you to listen to the story being read on Reading A to Z. On Friday, I would like you to read to someone. You can read to your learning coach, me, your learning guide, a dog, a friend. On Monday, I'd like you to read it independently. And on Tuesday, I'll take the comprehension quiz. All right, friends, have a great day.